Let me ask you something. When you hear the word genius, what image pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably someone who never stops talking, right? Solving crazy hard problems out loud, maybe showing off just a little. But what if I told you the real signs of a super high IQ are way quieter, much more subtle, and probably hiding in plain sight?
On the one hand, you've got the Hollywood version of a genius, the loud, obvious one. But on the other hand, you have what psychologists actually see, and it's a total flip. Instead of always talking, they're usually the ones just quietly observing. And instead of acting like they know everything, they're surprisingly comfortable admitting when they don't. It's a fascinating contrast, isn't it?
And this quote right here, this gets to the very heart of it. Psychologists will tell you that real intelligence isn't about having a brain stuffed with facts like some kind of dusty library. No, it's an active process. It's all about how your brain is constantly working and connecting and making sense of the world around you.
So, to really get this, let's start by looking inward. We're going to unpack the internal habits and the incredibly active mental life that so often comes with a high IQ.
First up, being perfectly comfortable with being alone. Now, this isn't about being antisocial or a hermit. Nope, it's about something much, much deeper going on inside the brain. Here's why this is so important. That quiet time, that solitude, it actually gives the brain the mental runway it needs to do its best work. We're talking deep reflection, complex planning, you name it. In fact, some research shows that really smart people can feel less satisfied with constant social hangs because their minds are literally craving that quiet time to process and connect ideas.
Okay, number 2 is a habit that, let's be honest, might seem a little weird. Talking to yourself. We've all seen someone do it, and hey, maybe we've even done it ourselves.
But get this, what psychologists call self-directed speech isn't a sign of being odd. It's actually a high-level cognitive tool. It's the brain's way of organizing thoughts, boosting memory, and staying focused. It's like you're literally helping your own brain structure its thinking process out loud. Pretty cool, huh?
And then we have number 3, overthinking. We almost always see this as a bad thing, right? A sign of anxiety or that you just can't make a decision.
But from a cognitive point of view, it's really just the side effect of a powerful, analytical brain that just doesn't have an off switch. That same mental engine that's great for solving massive, complex problems, well, it also gets applied to deciding what to have for lunch. It's not indecisiveness, it's the brain just running through every single possibility at once. Okay, so we've covered the inner world. Now let's shift gears and see how this all plays out when a highly intelligent mind runs into new information or bumps up against the vastness of the unknown.
It all kicks off with constant curiosity. And I don't just mean about the big, universe-level questions. It's about the small stuff, too. Why does that system work that way? What's the real reason people do that? It's a brain that is just hardwired to look for patterns and connections everywhere.
And you know, all that curiosity leads directly to our 5th habit, being genuinely, truly comfortable saying, I don't know. And this is so important. This is not a sign of weakness. It's a profound sign of intellectual strength.
This actually ties right into a famous psychological idea called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's basically a cognitive bias that explains why, weirdly enough, the people who know the least about something are often the most confident that they're experts.
And this comparison just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have folks with a little bit of knowledge who tend to think they know it all. But on the other side, you have truly intelligent people who are painfully aware of just how much they don't know. It really shows you that the ultimate sign of intelligence isn't knowing everything, it's understanding the exact limits of what you know.
This self-awareness naturally leads to another crucial habit, the willingness to change your mind. For them, beliefs aren't some fixed part of their identity. They're more like hypotheses, ideas that should be updated when new, credible evidence comes along. It's what you call cognitive flexibility in action. So let's just pause on that for a second. Think about it. How often do we get these behaviors totally wrong in our daily lives? We see someone change their mind and we call them wishy-washy. We see someone who enjoys being alone and we call them antisocial. When in reality, we might just be looking at signs of some seriously deep thinking. And that misinterpretation is key, because it brings us to our final group of habits. And these are the ones that are often the most surprising, the most counterintuitive, but they're deeply connected to some advanced cognitive patterns. So get ready for this fascinating trio of habits. First, a really sharp sense of humor. Second, a tendency to be a total night owl.
And third, a preference for just watching and observing instead of always talking. Now, they might seem completely random, but trust me, they all point to the same underlying brain functions.
Let's break that down. A quick wit, that requires the brain to spot weird patterns and connect ideas in totally unexpected ways. Being a night owl? Well, that can be a sign of a mind that's flexible enough to ignore a normal 9-to-5 schedule to find its most productive time. And that quiet observer? They're not being passive. They are actively gathering data, recognizing social patterns before they jump in. It all comes from a brain that's just processing the world differently.
And all of this, everything we've talked about, it all comes together in one final big idea. You could call it the ultimate engine that drives intelligence.
And that brings us to number 10, the habit that underpins all the others, a constant, relentless search for meaning. You see, a high-level intellect often comes with a sharp awareness of just how complex life is, and that naturally leads to asking the big questions about purpose and meaning and how we make sense of it all.
And that's really what it all boils down to, isn't it? It's not about having all the answers. It's about being absolutely, endlessly fascinated by the questions. At its very core, intelligence is just a brain that cannot stop exploring, cannot stop questioning, and cannot stop trying to understand.
Which, funnily enough, leaves us with the exact same quiet question that seems to drive these incredible minds in the first place. Why do we think the way we do? It's a heck of a puzzle, isn't it? And it's one that's definitely worth thinking about.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, smash that like button, drop a comment, share with your crew, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you never miss a daily update.